We're done, boys. Ugh! Hey, what's up guys? It's one day after taking the MCAT, and I just wanted to go over a little bit of my COVID MCAT experience. Just in light of transparency, to share with you guys as much and as quickly and up to date as possible. So first I'm going to be talking about 1, the COVID experience, and 2, how I think my actual test went. So in terms of the actual COVID experience, I think the testing centers are pretty strict. They make you sanitize your hands everywhere you go, and you have to keep a mask on at all times. And they also enforce pretty strict social distancing, and all the tests are spaced out pretty far. However, you take it in a relatively small room, but given that everyone has a mask on and people are socially distanced, I think that shouldn't be a very big issue. And the rooms also only have like 3 or 4 other people inside, so it shouldn't prove to be the largest issue. And besides for a lot of these safety precautions, I would expect that the COVID experience is still pretty similar to the regular MCAT experience. It's just also having a shortened test, that's part of the COVID experience. Personally, I don't know if I like that because I'm not sure how the curve works out, and I can't really compare it to any of the full length, so I'm not sure how I'm doing when I'm taking the test. I felt like the test being shortened, you didn't necessarily need that 30-minute break in between because I didn't really feel hungry enough that I felt like I needed to eat a big lunch or anything. But I could definitely see how it's not just necessarily an advantage to have a shorter test. It could be an advantage to some people, a disadvantage to other people, depending on what kind of test taker you are and what kind of environment you're used to. I would say for at least one of your full lengths to wear a mask to see how it would impact you, but I don't think necessarily you have to wear a mask for every single one of your full lengths because on the actual test you somewhat forget that it's there. And I think the testing experience, like all the checking in, palm scanner, blah blah blah, it was something that kind of worried me before because I didn't know how it was going to go. But all that's really fast, really smooth, and I don't think any hiccups should arise from that. Now in terms of the test itself, the one thing I would say is I think the difficulty averaged out is probably similar to the full lengths. It's just that I think the full lengths did a better job at spreading out the difficulty among all the sections. So maybe all the sections were like 6 out of 10 difficult, for example, while the test might have had one section as an 8 out of 10, one section and 2 sections as a 5, and the last one as a 6. Averaged out, it's still around that 6 out of 10 difficulty, but certain sections could be tougher than you remember. For example, the first section, the CP section, normally this is my best section, but personally I felt that I probably did the worst on this section in terms of my actual MCAT. Part of it was just due to nerves. Another part of it was just I know I got at least 3 questions wrong on that section, but it's because like you have to guess between a bunch of different choices, and just for 3 of those questions I was between 2 answers and I just guessed the wrong one. I don't think it's necessarily something that it's something you can predict before the test, but it's good to have those full lengths so that you can evaluate where you are in terms of getting questions wrong. And I just hope that I didn't get any like silly mistakes on CP. Cars, a lot of people say that cars feels like it's longer on the actual MCAT, and I will have to disagree with that because I averaged reading through one car section in 3 minutes and then answering questions in like 6 minutes-ish. And every single passage still was within that 3-minute reading time frame that I took. So cars felt okay, but cars is one of those sections where you never really know how you do until you check the answers, because sometimes you feel like you did really well and then you check the answers and you got a lot wrong. Sometimes you feel like you did a little poorly, but you got lucky in some of those questions that you guessed. So I think cars was okay, but it's still up in the open. BB I've been getting literally the exact same number of questions right on the BB section for every single one of my practice tests, and that's 53 without fail, full length, 1 to 4 in the sample, 53 questions right. This BB, in my opinion, felt a little easier than those, but I can't guarantee that I didn't make a few dumb mistakes here or there that could bring me back down to that 6 question wrong range, even though for now I know I only got 1 or 2 wrong for sure. But I came out feeling relatively confident in my PS section, and I feel like if things clicked in a few of the areas in terms of PS, then we have a shot at getting a decent score on PS, and it felt a little bit better than full length 3, maybe similar-ish. I can't really gouge in terms of full length 4. If things played out optimistically, I think we could be in line for 520 plus. That's just a cautiously optimistic guess right now, and I don't want to jinx things and then not actually perform. But overall, I'd say the experience went pretty smoothly, and I think if you don't psych yourself out, it helps a lot more in terms of being able to focus and concentrate on the tests. And I would just say that a lot of people say to trust your full lengths, but I would just go in with the mindset that anything they throw at you, you know how to approach it, and just feel confident that you know the answers. Yeah, so that's just my little breakdown of how I think my COVID MCAT experience went, just to keep you guys as updated as possible. And when the scores come out, if I never upload a video, it's, you know why, because not. But I also have my week before the MCAT video coming out real soon, so it's in the process, so bear with me, but I hope that video can also share with you a little bit of the transparency of the process, so that if I don't do well on the MCAT, you know where I went wrong, and if I do, you might be able to feel a little more confident in yourself. And so yeah, that's it for this time. See you in the next one. Peace.